Hi, so for my Imaging or Imagining Tibet project, I chose to analyze photographs of Tibet. So first, Orientalism is the Western study, way of thought, and self-perpetuating discourse of the East. There are many conflicting themes in Orientalism, like Said and Lopez talk about. There's the representations of the East as a perfect and utopian land, as spiritual and holy, lawless and dangerous, isolated, exotic, etc. This all gives the West an inherent dominance over the East by controlling and writing the information about their history, culture, and other aspects of their society and daily life, like Said says. This denies the East of its rich and unique culture and history, and it causes the East to become an object of imperial desire, like Lopez says. So some background on the images I chose. These are all images from a British collection from a man named Sir Charles Bell. So this is obviously a Western perspective on Tibet. The purpose of this collection is a documentation. So Sir Charles Bell is trying to document Tibet and provide high quality images and not necessarily trying to persuade of any certain point. And all these photos were taken in the early 1900s. So the first photo is called the School at Lhasa, and it portrays Tibet to be, or Tibetans to be organized, hardworking, and simple. So first, the camera angle from above the student's head shows an outsider's view on their uniformity of clothing and appearance and actions, that kind of thing. The student in the foreground with the teacher is something that your eyes focus on first. And then you see that the students in the background are working independently without being watched by their teacher. So this shows that the Tibetan students are very organized and put together. This also shows that they're hardworking, so the students are angled away from the camera, which shows their innocence and independence as if they don't know that they're being watched. The camera is at eye level with the student talking to the teacher, which allows the viewer to focus on this first, and it also shows that the teacher is sitting down to be at eye level with the student, showing mutual respect. It also portrays Tibet to be simple, or Tibetans to be simple, because the camera angle allows viewers to see that the school is outside, which is atypical for Westerners. There's plants in the background to contrast between sunlight and shade outside. And the students are sitting on the ground, which the camera angle above highlights. The next photo, Kitchen Utensils in Chumbi Valley, portrays Tibetans to be normal or like us because there are many recognizable kitchen items. However, you can also see a lot of unrecognizable items, which portrays Tibetans to be different from us. But the leveled camera angle makes it seem more unbiased, so it's not intentionally aimed at one certain thing to persuade a certain point. It also shows Tibetans to be simple and primitive from the black and white, and everything is the same hue in the photo. And there's little diversity of materials, so it's very simple things like wood, metal, and cement. There's little contrast in pattern, color, material, shape, etc. Everything looks very uniform, so nothing really stands out, which portrays Tibetans to be very simple. Tibet seems very normal in these images, many similarities to Western societies, although there are certainly some differences. But however, Tibet is not portrayed as many of the themes in Orientalism. Like there's no sense that Tibet is lawless or backwards, utopian, exotic, that kind of thing in these images. So these images attempt to show Tibet in a neutral light, displaying and showing differences rather than highlighting and accentuating the differences, which leaves plenty of room for interpretation on the viewer's behalf. Overall, these images do not display the typical themes of Orientalism for the reasons that they're all candid instead of purposefully posed, and they show everyday life rather than extremely good or extremely bad aspects of Tibet. So in conclusion, I'm challenging Orientalism. So Orientalism is not much different than any other comparison of cultures. Orientalism compares our normal to a different culture's normal, and we naturally pay attention to differences, and we are more prone to highlight these and analyze these specifically. And not all Western displays of the East resemble Orientalism. It depends on the source's intentions and goals. So if the source wants to publish intriguing popular literature, it would be a different story than if the source wants to document their raw experiences. The images may be the least biased medium in terms of displaying information about the East because it allows the audience to interpret firsthand. And Orientalism comes from biased Western representations of the East or biased Western interpretations of these representations of the East. But like we see in these photos, it is possible for a Western account of the East to be non-Orientalist.